for you guys for this little event, virtual tour, I specifically had the guys bring in these two cars from another space of ours. These are very special, and 1960, right? The Abarth, right? The Abarth GTLs, wow. The Carrera Abarth. They made 20 cars total for the world. Here's two of them, two of the 20 cars. This is chassis number 2. The blue one was a factory works car, right? And it raced and campaigned in French blue, essentially, right? With the number 37. This won the Targa de Floria. Won its class, so very special. The first two of the A-bars were factory works cars.
Oh, okay. So it had the original proportions, but then they changed them. It has a longer hood.
Yes, and this is also literally, as we, and we'll look at the silver one here in a little bit. Literally, they're different, right? And again, they were made, by different people, different shops actually at the time. And so the 20 cars, none of them are exactly the same, right? So that car does, yes, good eye. It has a longer nose, different place where the fuel cap, is exposed, et cetera, et cetera. But really special. This is the last aluminum bodied race car for Porsche. All the A-bars that were campaigned and raced were successful. If anybody asks you, to go drive their 1960 A-Barth, don't say, what's that? Just say, yes, go drive it. They're spectacular. It's easier to see.
So where do you save them? Why did you have to bring them specially now?
What's that?
You said that you had them somewhere else and you brought them for the visit?
Yeah, I had them in our building across the street. This one is here for service, right? Chassis 2. And this is chassis number 8, the silver car. Maybe some of you heard or followed our story. This is a car that we restored last year in essentially 4 months, and this car won its class at Pebble Beach.
Okay. Can you show us the motor, maybe?
Yes.
Really nice.
So that's a good look at the 4-cam engine. You look at the numbers down here, right? The factory stamp numbers for this specific 4-cam, right? The 692/3s, and literally, as I said, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears by our team. Last year, prepping and doing a full restoration on this car for Pebble Beach, and fortunate enough to win the class.
What can you tell us about that exhaust? Why is it coming out so far?
This is essentially known as kind of the Sebring exhaust, right? Why they did that exactly, I don't know, but obviously we have a couple, baffles here, and when you hear these cars run, if I get up under here, it's coming straight back, coming here lower, I think it's tilted up. We have the springs here, so it flexes, it moves a little bit, possibly trying to get it up off the ground, a little bit out from underneath the car, because it's fairly low. So it's getting up out of here, but this is very indicative of the 1960s, right? And different models, not just Porsche, where you kind of see some of this style of exhaust, where it comes kind of a 2-into-1, also gives you a little bit more pressure, right? Probably adds a little power, a little horsepower.
Okay.
But a really special car, and something interesting maybe to you guys, obviously aluminum body car. It's the last competition car Porsche made with an aluminum body before going essentially to the 904. Again, plexiglass windows, very lightweight. Part of the restoration process is obviously painting a car. And when the guys did this, there was a lot of dialogue and conversation to get, see how this car doesn't have a lot of sheen on it. It's not real shiny. It's a little dull, right? Kind of like the 550 we looked at. To try to recreate, it's still probably better than the paint job that Porsche put on it in 1960, but it's kind of dulled down, right? The guys could have put a beautiful silver paint job on it, right? Shiny and or metallic-y or whatever, but just a flat color with little sheen to it, is really more correct for the period.
Yeah, more true to its nature.
That's right.
What a beautiful couple. How many speeds
And
does
just
it
so
have?
happens that 4.
4 speed. What were you saying? Sorry.
What do you say?
You were
What was the
about to
question?
say something. No, you were about to say something and I
Oh,
interrupted.
yeah. It just so happens that this chassis number 8 of the 20 cars, this car never lost a race. It won 13 straight races back in its glory days.
The Abarth logo.
Tim, this is Willem. Would it be possible to listen to the engine? Is it possible to start the car?
No, I'm afraid not this evening.
How much does it weigh?
These cars are very light, probably 12 to 1,500 pounds.
Son como 500 kilos
Yeah.
para la audiencia.
The A-Bars in general, the 20 cars are, really, a legacy piece, right? They didn't make very many. They're all successful, right? With the German engineering and a little Italian flair, right? But they're highly collectible at this point. Really, one of the more valuable Porsches that anybody could own.
Nice. Why doesn't it have any Porsche badge?
Because the body was done by the Italians, right? So this was a time period when Abarth, Abarth and Ferdinand, right? They had a falling out. So Abarth actually didn't even do all the coach work, right? They were done at a couple other smaller shops in Torino or around Torino in Italy, right? So it didn't get the crest, right? Because it was done by the shops in Italy is the easy answer. And like this one has the Abarth badge, but Abarth also wasn't the primary coach builder.
So how do you maintain the 4Cams now that the people that know how to deal with them are getting lesser and lesser?
Well, considering that we're fortunate enough to have one of the guys. I really consider there's probably only 2 guys in this country that I would trust. Yeah, it's an issue, right? It can be an issue. And I think there's a misconception. Guys, I don't think the 4-cam is obviously complicated, right? In the way you time the car and everything, but it's an engine. It's tedious. It's long, right? To get them just right. But once you learn and once you know them, I think more guys will come along and pick it up, right? I don't think, all of a sudden there's not going to be anybody left that can work on a 4-cam. At the end of the day, I think in the future, hopefully we're doing our part to be able to pass that understanding, that knowledge and tutelage to the younger generations that are passionate about it.
Tim,
I have a
Sounds
question.
right.
Mario would like to ask you something, or say something.
Sure.
Mario.
Tim, I have a friend that's restoring a 1953 Pre-A, and we have this discussion about the location of the blinkers, because he says that the car has them placed a little bit more in the center, not right below the lights, and all of the information that we have and all the books that we have seen, the location is below the lights. Do you think in 1953 there could be a different location in the blinkers, in the front blinkers?
Yeah, personally, I do think there could be. Again, this is a time period, right? That when you're looking at them, particularly the blinker, the location of the blinkers, are typically on the same on the production cars, but they're still hand built, right? So there could be some room for some error. I don't have a 53 sitting around, or we could take a look at it. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's entirely not possible where it could be shipped. But you're gonna align yours underneath the headlamps.
Yes. Well, he found the car. It's a barn find actually, but they were located a little bit in the center, not below the headlamps. So that's a good discussion that we have had, and I have told him that they should be placed below the headlamp. But it's something that he doesn't know what to do, because the car, when they stripped it out, it doesn't seem that it was repaired or changed the front of the car or whatever. So it's quite strange. And I think that for 53, there should have been all in the same place. Maybe in the moon car is different, but 53 were more production line radio. Something.
Sure.